Hey friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to my garden. Today we're going to walk through the cut flower garden, and then if we have time, I like to take you up through the patio garden as well. It is between mid and end of September, so a lot of the plants are tired, ready to go to sleep, but there's still some pretty things in bloom, so let's walk through the gardens. It's also been very dry, like we haven't had any rain in September. So some of the plants that you can see, the hydrangea has turned brown before it really should have. But I have been watering the plants just so they're not too stressed. But the lavender and that lemon zest rose is looking so pretty together. But I've also been noticing some spots where it's just like sitting empty. So I am going to visit my local nursery next week and just pick up a few perennials to kind of fill in those voids, because it's not looking so nice like right in here. But as you do walk into the garden, it starts looking pretty with the phlox and this perennial pincushion and the rose and the bird bath. Oh my goodness. I love filling this bird bath up. It's actually a butterfly puddler. Um, and then just popping in a few fresh flowers for the bees and for the butterflies. The coreopsis, ground cover coreopsis, is pretty much done blooming right now. But this sedum, oh my goodness, it's looking so pretty. And the little garden shed with the super petunias, those have been going crazy all summer long. Highly recommend planting silverberry super petunias in containers because they thrive all summer long. We have some more lavender here, and over here, I don't know if you can see it, the sun is it's early morning, so the sun is shining a little weird. But this red twig dogwood, do you see those red branches already? It's going to look so pretty this winter. So recently in here, I took out a huge patch of yarrow and I kind of redid this space. I planted a limelight hydrangea, like the shorter limelight hydrangea, right in here. And then I have lavender, then a ground cover, and then there's some more, no, that's not a ground cover, some more lavender right in here. But I would like to come in here with another perennial and kind of make a swoop that would go between the lavender and that rose, and then bring it out to right here. If you have suggestions, something that's a little bit taller than the lavender, but it would be shorter than this rose. Also, this Litchfield Angel Rose. Look at it. Oh, there's a little bee sleeping in there, but it's so pretty. The delphinium is giving another flush of bloom, so that has been fun. The pink bright-eyed phlox has also been pushing out some more new blooms. This butterfly bush is pretty much done blooming, and then we have a volunteer zinnia that planted itself there. All of the echinacea is done blooming, and then over here we have our strawberry patch, which is just looking a little hairy right now, and then our grapevine arbor. And over here is the chicken coop. I think I'm going to turn around and then start around that edge, walk around this edge of the garden. Okay, we're kind of back where we started. So the crabapple has lost all of its leaves. It's been very dry this last part of summer. The firelight tidbit hydrangea has, the flowers look a little bit more brown than they normally do, but it's still looking pretty. And this rose, Harlow Carr David Austin rose, has been blooming all summer long. I love what it looks like from this angle, just looking over the garden from this direction. And everything in here is pretty much out of bloom right now. This is a rose. It's just a single rose, single petaled rose, but it's a rose that the bees really love. And the Russian sage is looking so pretty right now. I love how the Russian sage kind of glows in the sunlight. And I just need to show you this view. This is one of my favorite views, just looking over the cut flower garden, over the little fence. The Vanessa Bell rose is blooming right now. It's been a little stressed this summer. It was its first summer in the garden. And I had let it dry out like completely earlier this summer, but it's rebounded and it's looking a lot better. The dinner plate hibiscus still have a few blooms on them. And the pinky winky hydrangea is looking pretty. And then some ground cover phlox. As we walk in this direction, a lot of the plants, you can see they're definitely ready to go to sleep, but there is something new that's blooming. I planted these bulbs this spring. It's called orchid gladiolas. Look at that flower, and it smells so good. They're beautiful in cut flower arrangements. Sedum is still looking pretty, but it's kind of fading out. It's usually, like if it's later in the day, it's covered in butterflies and bees. And then some more of the orchid gladiolas. And this, I am in love with this chrysanthemum. I picked it up at a garden center last summer. Usually mums don't attract pollinators, but with this golden center, like it has pollen there that the pollinators actually like. And the ruby moon hyacinth bean is looking so pretty still. The hummingbirds go nuts over it. Joe pieweed is pretty much done blooming. The fairy garden is still looking sweet. And the rose of Sharon still has a few blooms on it. Then if we kind of swing this direction, look at the new orchard. So excited to get some bulbs planted in there this fall for next spring. It's going to look so pretty. In here, I also have a lot of spring bulbs planted that will be blooming next summer. I have my hose out here because I've been giving the chickens some watering the fruit trees. Trying to get closer to the chicken coop garden so you can see it better. The sun is kind of glaring. I planted quite a few herbs in here this spring. We've been harvesting a lot from those. But the silverberry supertunias, I planted them in here as well. And oh my goodness, they look pretty in the ground or in containers. I have some nasturtium in here as well. If you have, actually I think it's pronounced nasturtiums, but if you've never eaten these, oh my goodness, you need to try it. They're so good. Like if you pop them into a salad, it just gives it a sweet little pop. Honeysuckle still has a few blooms on it at the top. And then I have some more silverberry supertunias in here. I've just been trying to do a repeat of the same kind of flowers like in the cut flower garden as well as in the chicken coop garden, and walk around to the sunflower patch. Now, this is a good example of why you should succession plant sunflower seeds. So I had done sunflower seeds early this summer, or was it actually, it was like late May. And then I planted these in end of June. And look at it. We still have some pretty blooms. Over here on this side of the border, I am so excited to see this next spring because I haven't seen this iris bloom yet. This is called Angel's Rest bearded iris. It's like a very soft pink. And then I have a hellebore right in here and a peony. So it should be very pretty back here next spring. The salvia, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's just an annual salvia. And I don't know if I really like it. I love the magenta color, but this is often, like most of the time it just kind of looks like this. But the hummingbirds and the bees still like it. Incredible blush hydrangeas, obviously done blooming. But the sedum, oh, I just love sedum this time of year. And there's the morning glory kind of wrapping around it. And this begonia, I have discovered the trick to begonias. They like to dry out between waterings, and oh my goodness, since I've let it be a little bit more dry, it's just thriving. Some more of the morning glories blooming in here, but I just have to show you this in a little backed up view. Oh, I love this little area. Okay, let's head up to the patio garden and see what's blooming up there. The summer annuals are still looking so good in the containers. I don't think I'll really be doing any fall planters. I've discovered if I keep the planters watered and fed all summer long, they will thrive right up until frost. This new little garden, actually it's an extended garden. Let me walk over here so you can get a better look. So it used to come out to only right there where the begonias and the lambsdeer are. But this spring we took back all of the sod and laid down cardboard and put mulch on top. So I just planted annuals in here. They're kind of looking a little tired, and put in some stepping stones. But this fall, I would still like to put like a hydrangea right in here and some lamb's ear. I do have plants to do that with. I just need to get it done. I'll probably remove this hosta back in here and put another hydrangea back in there that likes shade. And over here, the Atlas rose. Oh, it's giving another flush of blooms. I love this rose. Do you see all of those buds on it? Like, it blooms right up until frost. The echinacea is done blooming. But these containers, they just got massive. And I've been letting the coleus just flower. I know they don't have a beautiful flower, but this is why. You see the little bumblebee on there? They're so attracted to those flowers. The waxwing begonias, I tried to do a repeat of those just all around the patio garden. And this is something that's funny. So I have some snapdragons planted in here. Obviously some seeds fell down. And look at that. There is snapdragons growing right out of the cement. And this is a little weeping willow that gives little catkins in spring. I tried to mirror the begonias with the hot pink impatiens, and this little succulent planter. It really took off this summer. If you were here this summer or earlier this summer, do you remember like how small those succulents were? Back to this border. We have a little border between the deck and the patio, and I just have a little repeat of grasses, hydrangeas, and these weigela shrubs. I think that's how you pronounce it. And these coleus are something I would definitely repeat. Oh my goodness. They are just monsters with the black cherry supertunias. So pretty. Now, one thing that isn't doing so great in these planters is the elephant ears. I let it dry out one time and this is what they've done. Like, they just haven't rebounded, but everything else in here is looking so pretty that I just can't get myself to take apart this planter, especially like with the lantana. The butterflies and the bees love it. Up here on the deck, so I had planted some hydrangeas. There's one right in here and there's one in here. Those are the two hydrangeas that I'm going to pop out into the landscape. They just brought a sweet little color up here on the deck this summer, but now we are going to transplant them out into the landscape and enjoy that next summer in the ground. But I just want to give you a little backed up view of the deck over the cut flower garden. Another one of my favorite views. In this garden, I've been trying to bring in a little bit more winter interest with some evergreens. I did do a repeat of the waxwing begonias around this garden. Also, I finally figured out what I want to put around this AC unit to kind of black out like just the hideous view of it. Probably won't get to doing it this fall yet, but maybe next spring, and I'll share it with you guys. I'm hoping eventually the hosta will grow up and kind of cover up those unsightly things. I had recently put in a little pathway back through here. This is just a fun little area. It usually has color until, mostly because I pop in annuals in here, but it usually has color right up until frost. The perennial sweet pea, I cut back a little bit, but you see it still has blooms on it. And the hummingbirds really love those flowers. Again, I just have a repeat of the waxwing begonias. And I also did a little white begonia in the planter. Give you a little view over the garden from this direction. I hope you've enjoyed walking through the gardens with me today, friends. And if you have any ideas on what to plant around the lavender out in the cut flower garden, I had shown it to you in the first part of the video, I would love to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Have an amazing week, friends. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. And I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.